Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Bruni, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, it's Sunday, February 18th, and thank you for getting on and fighting through adversity and fighting through sickness.
I'm a lot better today. We got the amoxicillin. Speaking of which, I don't know if I took it today, so we're just gonna kind of roll and pretend that I did because I don't
Take it
want to
right
take it
now
twice.
on the podcast. See,
No, I can't
just
do that. I have to count them out. It's not good to take amoxicillin twice.
overdosed on.
And I wouldn't overdose. It's just I don't want to. I gotta have all my pills. I did take it. I think.
course.
Oh, maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, well, while Colin counts out his medicine, we haven't done a podcast since the losing streak. So actually, that's not true. They
We did a
lost 3 straight
podcast.
games. We did
Yes.
Patrick Cobbs. We did the Cobbs podcast. So check out the football podcast if y'all haven't already. Since then, we didn't do one. We didn't do one after the loss to SMU, right? We haven't done a basketball one since that losing streak. Is that correct?
No, we have not.
Okay. I'm just double checking right now. Because I lose track of where we are at all times. Yeah, so 3 straight losses, Cobbs, and now this. So since then, it's gone win over Tulsa, loss at SMU, 68-71, win over Memphis, 76-66, and now a loss to UAB on the road, 71-62. Colin, that is a 2-2 stretch that puts them at 7-6 in conference play. I would say, this was the stretch where we knew it was going to be difficult, from the middle portion of the schedule. We'll get to the schedule a little bit more later, but is bookended by easy stretch to start, easy stretch to end, and then you have the meat of it, 10 games where it's you playing, Charlotte, SMU, FAU, UAB, USF, all these teams. So yeah, 7-6. I don't think we need to talk about the Tulsa and SMU games. The SMU game was another disappointing result because they had the lead again and just fell apart. Do you have anything else on that game? That was a disappointing game.
I mean, I feel like
Just
those are
because they
so
weren't.
long ago. We kind of everyone's accepted it at this point. The
That was a
problem
week
is,
ago.
well, yeah, but the problems that SMU lost happened because they just get too tired at the end of games. You just run out of juice.
Yeah, no, and we kind of, I don't know, you can kind of feel it watching that game. And then the Memphis game on Thursday, 76-66 win. They hit 16 threes. Was it Bugs went, what did he finish shooting? 4 or 5 from 3. Jason Edwards, 7 of 9 from 3. Rondell hit 2. Aaron Scott hit 2. 16 threes on 28 attempts. And that is one of the high points of the season to me, bar none. And not even because it's Memphis, not even because it's a good win, but just because this was the game we went into the season saying, all right, wait till Penny comes to the Super Pit. And if you can beat this team with Javon Quinterly and David Jones, and they added Naquan Tomlin, they have all these players. And this was Memphis on Twitter has been one of the biggest, not even just one guy, right? It's multiple people on Memphis Twitter being when the AAC would tweet out something with Memphis and it'd be like, don't put us with these Conference USA schools. And since then, Memphis has just been getting its butt kicked. So that was more of a fun result.
Yeah,
I was very happy with that.
me too.
What do you think about that game, real quick?
What's that mid-major madness saying in his Twitter bio? Gonzaga isn't a mid-major, but Memphis is. So yeah, Memphis is showing that they're a mid-major. No, I mean, yeah, I think the win basically to me was like a shot at everyone on Twitter who hates the American. But hey, they could still, I guess, win in the conference tournament. But I mean, it's insane. One, I'm glad Memphis is having these troubles because if they have any sort of competence on a defensive anything, that game looks not the same. They're losing to SMU right now. You have the game up or had it up. They were down by 18 at one point, so they'll probably lose that game. And then you have tonight. UAB, not really a rematch of the NIT, but they've been rivals. UAB and
They've played so many times.
times.
Yeah, I mean they've played so many times already this year.
Doesn't normally end in a sweep.
That home loss to UAB was in the stretch, like it was the overtime loss, and it was right
Yeah.
after the John L. Davis shot against FAU, and that was the stretch that really hurt, because I don't even think I think Nolan did play in that game, right? Yeah, CJ Nolan played in that game, but
Yeah.
hasn't played much since. And again, they go into this game without Reuben Jones, without CJ Nolan, and end up losing 62-71. It was never really, I don't say it was never close, Colin, but it was never within striking distance after the
Right.
first, like, I don't even know how long, but
I mean,
like they jumped out. Yeah, they got up 11 with 5 minutes left in the first half and just kind of stayed at that range, stayed in that 10 range forever. Um, so there's no like dynamic, like, oh, break down this specific play or anything, but I do think we saw them take away John Buggs. And for the second time, because they said on the broadcast, I think Buggs has now 2 points in, or 4 points in their two meetings with UAB this year.
yeah. Yeah.
So UAB has effectively taken away the second best perimeter scorer on this team because Ruben and CJ are not playing. And as a result, they have nothing else. There's nothing else on this team besides Jason Edwards.
Yeah, and I thought probably 3 of those Bugs threes were open. I mean,
Yeah.
one of them was wide open, and you hit 2 of those, the game looks a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know. Obviously, you want to not go 4 of 18 from 3, and we know North Texas teams can't shoot that bad from 3 and win games most of the time. It's just that's the way they play. But I think the biggest discrepancy for me was the physicality inside. There wasn't. I didn't look at the stats, but it didn't really feel like there were any. Yeah, they got out. North Texas got out rebounded 37-31. I don't have offensive rebounds in my
It was
in
about
front of me
even
right now.
11 and 12. Second
But
chance points 14 for UAB to 8 for North
yeah,
Texas.
but the thing that bothered me was that, and then the foul line. North Texas had 10 free throws, and in the first half, UAB had 10 free throws attempted. I don't know what the second half would have been without fouls, so I'm not going to count those. But in the second half alone, UAB had 21 free throws, but most of that was from fouls. So we'll call it 20 for the whole game. North Texas has 10. That's 10 points. And then when you don't make those threes, it's really hard to claw back because Jason Edwards, yeah, he can go 8 of 15 and score 20 points, but if no one else can score anything else, or more, 29 points, if no one else can do anything else, then it's really just a one man versus a whole nother team.
Yeah. And Jason Edwards still is excellent, great player. I mean, the way he continues to play, and he had 4 assists today. I thought he was fantastic, just carving up the UAB zone at times, in the second half especially, to kind of keep them around 10. But ultimately, the pecking order is not. This isn't how it's supposed to look, and we've talked
Right.
about it before, right? This is without Ruben and CJ Nolan on this team. You have John Buggs, and then you have, I'm sorry, you have Jason Edwards, then you have John Buggs, then you have Rondell Walker, and you have Matthew Stone, and you have Christian Moore.
I mean,
Those are
it's
your guards.
guards. Okay, sorry.
And Stone went 1 of 6. I give him some credit for actually trying to score at times.
Yeah.
Like, he realized, he's like, I have to do something because we have
Yeah.
no other option. And he tried. He went 1 of 6, and he got his shots like sent to the 4th row a couple times, but like he tried. So yeah, he had 3 points. Christian Moore had 0 points in 4 minutes. Rondell Walker 2 points in 33 minutes. So it's like you get 5 points from those 3 players, and obviously Buggs had 2 points. So if you want to lump him in there too, but like that's just where you're asking them to be more than what they are.
Yeah.
And I think, do you have anything else on the guards before I move into a secondary point?
No.
That moves into a secondary point where, all right, they had to fight with UAB in the front court, and I thought they just got destroyed in the front court. Just killed. Lindenberg, if you watch the game, you know how this went. Lindenberg, 26 points, 8 boards, 4 blocks, 9 of 12 at the free throw line, 8 of 13 overall. He was the best player on the court. Him and Jason Edwards, obviously. Coincidentally, the two of like the best JUCO players last year, meeting up right here and being awesome. So, but yeah, he was the best player on the court, in my opinion. He's one of the best players in the conference. And then Davis, their center, 10 points, 4 boards. I thought he was really effective too. So, those two, lock down the paint, and when you have it to where Aaron Scott, who actually made some shots on the interior today, 4 or 5 from 2, that's good, but 5 fouls, like he just didn't seem like he was able to match them, especially not Lindenberg. So
Yeah.
that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every game we're like, yeah, we'll wait and see until CJ and Ruben get back. But
Are you worried, like, I'm worried Ruben's not coming back. I don't know.
I think he'll come back. I don't know what it'll look like.
It's gonna be like,
and by coming back, it might not even be the first game of the conference tournament. It could be the second game. I think this team again looks a lot different. Like tonight, this game looks different with CJ just because he's able to do something on the offensive end.
Yeah.
And obviously he's another ball handler for you. But they don't take that jump to where you and I can sit here, like we talked about, where this team matches up with any team in the conference talent-wise without Ruben. So, yeah. I mean, I think he'll come back, but I don't know to what point because they're obviously not going to want to rush him back because they'll just go back out again. And
the last regular season game is March 9th against Rice. So I assume the tournament will start at the 14th, 13th or 14th, one of those days.
I think something like that.
March 13th. That's about 4 weeks away. I mean, we don't know, but it's already been. He came back January 25th, so it's already been almost a month since that game he came back and got injured. And now we're waiting another month, and it's a hamstring injury that, like, it's way worse because he came back and then re-aggravated it now.
Yeah.
And
so, not only that, because you have to be extra careful. You can't, like, you don't want to re-aggravate that a third time.
Yeah. So, I think best, like, I don't have insider information here, but I'm like best case scenario. I'm thinking March 3rd at home against East Carolina.
Yeah, and I think you need to get him back.
And that gives you 3 games to rev up.
Yeah, exactly. I think you need to get back in basketball shape because if he comes back, at that Rice game, then that becomes a problem.
Yeah. CJ Nolan, I thought it wasn't as bad, but he's, continuing to be out. So hopefully they can get him back for one of these games, maybe next week or 2 weeks. But without those two, this is just a team with a clear ceiling. And no matter how great Jason Edwards is, you're going to have to shoot incredibly well from 3 in order to win games.
I mean, how many times has Jason scored 30 points or close to 30 points and they've lost a game?
Yeah, a lot.
It's what were you gonna say? Sorry.
I just think they have to shoot the 3 ball well at this point. Like, it's literally that simple. Against SMU, the game they won, they went 10 of 23, 45%. Tulsa, they went 42%. Memphis, obviously, they went like 60% or whatever it was, 57%. And then today they don't shoot the ball well. Like, it's literally going to be that simple for this team now. In the game against USF, they lost. They went 5 of 15. And they actually shot again. And even when that does happen, they could lose games, right? They lost the game to SMU where they shot 12 of 23 from 3. It's become a team that is very reliant on the 3-point shot. And I don't blame them at all because that's kind of just how it has to be with the situation they're in. So, were you disappointed at all by the defense today? 71 points allowed to you, AB?
I mean, I thought they started fine. Like early, they were locking them up, but I feel like they kind of felt it too. Probably after that first half was over, you're like, this isn't going to go well. I mean, the only player I think I could really get on probably would be Aaron against Lindenberg. You obviously want him to do better there. Lindenberg's really good, but Aaron Scott, the way we see him, is close to an NBA prospect in terms of defense, and that didn't really show today. He did have 8 boards, but I mean, Lindenberg ate his lunch. I think the biggest thing I was disappointed with was mostly really not seeming to be on the same page on offensive perspective, and that's not threes or made shots, just so many turnovers. I felt like were just really bad turnovers. What were the turnover numbers right here? North Texas had 12 turnovers, and they just seemed they were just on a lot of them were unforced. It seemed.
Mm-hmm. So. There was that run, like you said, in the first 13 minutes of the game, it was 14-14, and then they go on 11-0 run, and that's pretty much the game. I thought Matt Stone got beat a couple times on defense. I thought the centers kind of struggled defensively as well. Lindenberg's still good because he can play the 4 and the 5.
Yeah.
like really effectively. So it's just like, man, it's tough. UAB is a team that I think out of all the teams in the conference, they're probably the ones I want to see the least in the tournament. I think they just match up really well. Like they neutralize North Texas bigs really well, and then they can put gains on Edwards and kind of maybe try to tire him out. Or if North Texas, obviously, even if North Texas is whole, I still think that's probably a really tough matchup. Them and then probably like SMU, I'd have as like the two. But I think North Texas beats SMU at full strength. But I'm not sure. Like them and Charlotte, yeah, that's probably the two. UAB and Charlotte are probably the two I do not want to play in
Yeah,
the
just because they're so physical.
yeah, and they kind of neutralize what North Texas does well. All right, now 7-6, Colin. I have two questions. The first being, if I had told you before conference play that they were not going to have Ruben for this entire conference, like through 13 games,
Yeah,
and they were 7-6, what would your reaction have been?
I think it depends on the wins they have, and I think they have the good wins. They've lost to the teams that I mean, preseason we didn't think USF was going to be really good. We didn't think Charlotte was going to be really good. So you have 2 losses there. 7-6, I'd say that's pretty good because especially preseason, we thought Ruben was going to be your second best, if not your best player.
Yeah, Ruben started having games in the non-conference where it was like, oh, this is like the best player on the team level good. He was I'm looking at it right now. He was the second most used player, and I don't even know what this was before he got injured because Edwards is 40th in the country in usage percentage, but Ruben Jones is 214th in the country in usage percentage. Like that's how much they used him before he got injured. And so, yeah, I'm looking at damn, he scored double digits in a lot of games. Here's his last 7 games: 15, 16, 6, 20, 13, 16, 9.
Yeah. And then with the defender that he is,
yeah,
and the passer that he is,
yeah, it would just change everything. So again, if you take him out and you told me they were 7-6 in conference, I would have been I think I would have said that I believe it. Like it sounds realistic to me. And so
I think it's more impressive that you also lose Noland, who didn't have the preseason or the non-conference season that we really wanted from him. But when you say you take away 2 of the ball handlers and that leaves Jason Edwards, I think it would scare both of us to think I don't even know how this team wins games, because we didn't think Jason Edwards is going to be able to put up close to 30 almost every night. So.
CJ is knocked 5 out of the 13 games. So, all right. So that's the first question. And I agree with that. I think like this, if you told me they were 7-6 without Ruben, I'd be like, okay, no problem in there. Like, that makes perfect sense. The second question is this last stretch here. They're 7-6. The last 5 games are, like I said, the easier portion here. You started off easy, you end easier. Home against UTSA, on the road against Tulane. Didn't they already play on the road against Tulane? No, that was a home game. Road against Tulane, home against ECU, home against FAU, and then on the road against Rice. Those are the last 5 games. They're going to be favored in 4 to 5, obviously, besides maybe FAU. And FAU just lost to USF. USF is going to win the conference.
Yeah, USF is incredible.
Which is crazy. And that's a new coach there, isn't it? Like that's first year.
Yes, I believe so. I get, because Charlotte and them have the same colors, I get mixed up with.
Yeah, no, it is. He's from Kennesaw State.
Yeah,
Kennesaw State was good last year. But anyways, yeah, USF. Shout out to y'all, man. Winning the conference the way they've won 11 straight games at this point, including FAU, North Texas, Charlotte, Memphis. They do end with SMU, Charlotte, Tulane, Tulsa. So we'll see. But regardless, so those are the last 5 games for North Texas. They're gonna be favored in 4 of them. If they win 4 out of 5, are we happy, or do they have to win 5 out of 5? Like,
I think if they win 3 and they're not healthy, then that's fine. Like if we don't see Ruben or CJ and you win 3 of them, I'm assuming we're not going to see them, just to temper my expectations. Obviously, we hope to and expect to a little bit, at least for those last couple games. But if they don't come back, I think 3-2. I think Tulane is the one that, because they score so much and it's the end of the season, you might be fatigued. defensively against them. But I think if you go 3-2 and hopefully scare FAU, you feel pretty good.
I just can't see a second loss here. Now I say that fully aware if they're not healthy, they could lose.
Well, that's what I
like
mean. Tulane. I think Tulane just because it's away and it's not like
Yeah, you're right.
they're not like Tulsa.
You're right.
Tulsa is definitely, and Tulane's also seen North Texas already. They know what that defense is like now. You're not going to surprise them and jump on them.
Yeah, good point. 3-2 would put them at 10-8 in conference play. And again, if you told me they never have Ruben and they missed CJ for half the year, I think that would be pretty damn good.
Yeah,
like 10-8, and then you try to piece it together and make a run in the tournament. And it sounds like we are. I don't think it sounds like we're making excuses because I think all the North Texas fans are on the same page. This has been a year one under Ross Hodge that I think has gone very well. I think this not only on the court, but the team he assembled, I think shows that he knows what it takes to win in the American and he can acquire that talent. Because honestly, if you look at it, if you're from Ross, like from a player's perspective, if you're Rondell Walker, CJ Nolan, heck, John Buggs, if you're Jason, any of the new players on this team, you are buying into North Texas as a program. You're not buying into Ross Hodge as a coach per se, which I know sounds unfair because we know how great of a coach he is, but you're not buying into it. So now Ross Hodge going into year two, if you can maintain this level of talent that they have on this team, because I still think, I won't speak for you, but I think this team at full strength probably only has 3 losses in conference right now.
Oh yeah,
maybe less.
I think everyone. I mean, I did the math. This is not counting the UAB game. North Texas only lost every game from after Ruben went out by 26 points cumulative score, and that's including the Charlotte loss, which I think was like a 12. I got it right here.
Yeah, 12.
It was 12 points. So if you take away Charlotte, you lose 5 games by 14 points.
Yeah.
Like,
so again, it's
razor thin margins for wins and losses here against good teams as well.
And that's the thing. And then if you go back to non-conference, they're losing these games close, which they didn't have Rondell Walker in those games, which I think he makes a significant difference. Like this team at full strength has Rondell Walker as potentially like a 7th man or 8th man.
Yeah.
One of the best rotations in the American. And I think at that point, if this team was fully healthy throughout the year, you see them starting to click offensively. I think we're looking at one of the better offenses in the conference, and defensively they're still playing well. So again, what ifs are always a part of sports. Like we can do that with most or a lot of teams, in basketball and others. But this is I really think Ross Hodge deserves credit for the job he's done this year. And we'll see if they win 4 to 5 closing it out. Like I think he should be in contention for like one of the like top 3 coaches in the conference at this point if they win 11 games without Ruben Jones. I just didn't think that would happen. But yeah, we'll see. UTSA at home is a get right game. And then like you said, that Tulane games. That Tulane game is probably the one. That Tulane game's the one where on the road at New Orleans, you gotta win that one if you're gonna get to 11 wins. So
it would be great if CJ came back against UTSA. It would be fantastic.
Yeah, we'll make some calls. We'll see how we're doing. But yeah, I think that's it. Anything else here?
No. Nope.
Still 32nd in the country in defense. Very good.
Where are they in KenPom now? That loss.
They haven't updated it yet.
Oh, normally they're so quick.
Yeah, I don't know. There's 7. Well, there's a lot of games going on. Maybe
they
got to wait for Memphis to lose to SMU to update.
Where is Memphis now? North Texas before this loss was 70th.
Memphis going into today is 84.
84. Jeez, man.
This is a team that was number 10 in the AP poll 3 weeks ago.
Brutal.
And now they are dead. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think from a conference perspective, like I said, I wouldn't want to play if North Texas is fully healthy. I wouldn't want to play UAB and Charlotte. I think they can beat like UAB, Charlotte, top 2, FAU's 3rd, SMU's 4th, USF's 5th. That's probably the order of teams I don't want to play. But I think they can beat everybody in the conference if fully healthy. But We'll see.
What if?
What ifs? All right, that's all we got for y'all today. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Colin, have fun this weekend. You doing anything? Golfing?
It's
Anything?
Sunday. The weekend's over, and I'm still sick. You think I'm going outside right now?
I mean, sometimes it's good to get some exercise when you're sick.
I took the trash out.
That's good.
No, the last 2 days. Yesterday was I still didn't feel that well. Today I feel pretty good. It's just I got a little cough and a sneeze here or there.
What is this golf tournament that's going on right now?
The Genesis?
It's not a major, is it?
No, it's just Tiger's hosted event, but Tiger had to withdraw because bad in and out.
I saw
Flu
that.
symptoms, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, flu symptoms. I didn't know. I saw everyone talking about it. I was like, this must be a big deal here.
just because Tiger started playing again. Tiger's the needle, Bruni.
Tiger's the needle. All right. Well, good to know. Good to know. And that's all we got for y'all today. We're probably gonna try to do another football. I'm gonna see if we can get a football visitor on next week. But yeah, we'll probably do a basketball pod as well on that same day whenever we get it done. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Spring ball is probably about to start for North Texas. We'll see when the dates are for that, and we'll start getting more and more football people on because it is almost spring. So yeah, for Colin Mitchell, I'm Matthew Bruni. We will talk to y'all later. Follow us on the Twitters, Green Room UNT. Colin did a great job tweeting out the game. Shout out to him. Round of applause. Round of applause.
I had to take some sick days there the last couple games. Sorry, Bruni.
Yeah, I know. That's all right.
Apologies.
That's all right. That's why I'm here. But yeah, thank you all for joining us, and we will talk to y'all later.